A homeless man sat outside a small coffee shop every single day, but nobody knew who he really was. Until one night, he looked at a broken man and said, "Your daughter will survive." And the next morning, the impossible happened. This is not just a story. This is a reminder that miracles still exist. Michael Turner was a hard-working father from Chicago. Every morning at 6 a.m., he opened his tiny repair shop. He worked hard, loved his wife, and his 8-year-old daughter Lily was his entire world. But one rainy evening, everything changed. Lily suddenly collapsed in school and was rushed to the hospital. After hours of tests, the doctor slowly walked toward Michael and said, "Your daughter has a rare heart condition. She needs surgery immediately." Michael felt his world shatter. The surgery cost more money than he had ever seen in his life. He sold his tools, his old car, and even borrowed money from friends. But it still wasn't enough. Every night Michael sat alone in the hospital hallway staring at the floor, praying quietly, "God, if you're listening, please save my daughter." But days passed, and no answer came. Across the street from Michael's repair shop sat an old, homeless man. Dirty clothes, long beard, silent eyes. Most people ignored him. Some called him crazy. But every morning he smiled at strangers like he knew something they didn't. One cold evening after another painful hospital visit, Michael stopped near the old man. The stranger looked directly into his eyes and calmly said, "You haven't slept in 3 nights." Michael froze. The next morning, the hospital called. Lily's condition had become worse. Doctors said surgery must happen within 48 hours. Michael broke down completely. Sitting alone inside his car, he screamed, "Why would God do this to me?" At that exact moment, he noticed the old stranger standing outside the parking lot in heavy rain, completely still. Michael walked toward him angrily and shouted, "You talk about faith? My daughter is dying." But the old man remained calm. He quietly said, "Sometimes God breaks a man to rebuild his soul." Michael clenched his fists. "I don't need quotes. I need a miracle." The stranger looked toward the sky and whispered, "Miracles come to those who still believe after disappointment." Then, he slowly walked away into the rain. That night became the hardest night of Michael's life. Machines beeped around Lily's hospital bed while his wife cried silently near the window. Doctors prepared emergency equipment as Michael held Lily's tiny hand. She looked weak, but smiled softly and whispered, "Daddy, don't cry. Jesus is with me." Tears filled Michael's eyes. At midnight, nurses suddenly rushed into the room. Lily's heartbeat became unstable. Doctors shouted instructions while Michael was pushed outside into the hallway. Completely broken, he collapsed onto the floor. And then, he saw someone sitting quietly at the end of the hallway. The old stranger. But this time, something felt different. The hallway lights flickered softly around him. The old man stood up slowly and walked toward Michael. Then he placed one hand on Michael's shoulder and said, "Your daughter will live." Michael looked shocked. "Who are you?" The stranger smiled but didn't answer. Instead, he whispered, "Tell people. Faith is stronger than fear." Then many people cried listening to him. Before leaving the stage, Michael smiled and said, "If you ever feel alone, remember this. God still sends help in unexpected ways. Maybe miracles are real. Maybe angels still walk among us. Or maybe God simply speaks through ordinary people. But one thing is certain. Hope can save a human soul. And sometimes, faith is all you need. If this story touched your heart, don't scroll away. Someone out there needs hope today.